you came to the right place.
Yeah, you're at the right place if you're looking for trouble. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Hey, everybody. It's Wednesday, 3 o'clock my time. Look, we got 14 on board. We ready for some serious chatter here? Let us know if you guys hear us and everything, since we've had technical issues now and then with some of the internet. So Cam disappeared here a minute ago, but he's back. So hopefully everything goes fine. Now, I want to give a little advance public service announcement. Today's discussion in Decoded and The King is Dead is The King is Dead is it's very descriptive. It talks a lot about his death, and it talks a lot about what happened during that time with the autopsy and all that. So even though we still talk lighthearted about things, there's no intention whatsoever for us to make fun of anything that happened those days. But it is a deep conversation. A lot of stuff. When I was putting it together today, I'm like, this is really some topics that most people don't. And that's why we do this separately. That's why we don't do this on the other shows. This is for people who want to have this conversation and have a good time. So, anyways, I just wanted to say that, and then I'm going to put this on real quick.
This is all for entertainment purposes only. Our comments are our opinions only. We make no claims as to fact, and the viewer should make their own opinions.
All right, so we'll play that every once in a while, but
and
if we don't know what really happened on a lot of stuff. So,
and if you guys don't have an opinion, don't worry, we'll give you an opinion.
Oh yeah, we'll give you shit. No, I'm just kidding. No, this is good. This is interesting. I'm enjoying this. We're actually going to get to we're actually getting past the halfway point in Decoded. We're getting through The King is Dead, so we'll be through with that. That wasn't a very long book, but it's really interesting. It's good to hear the story from the people that I never really thought about that scenario of him going to the funeral home. That just never crossed my mind in the whole scheme of things, But this book is really, it's just made it so much real. And I'm thinking, and in my personal situation, I'm thinking that while that was going on with him being taken there and processed, and I'm actually there at Graceland during that time. So it's kind of surreal to me because I never saw the hearse or anything like that. But that doesn't, and I'm not saying that because I don't think it happened. I'm just saying that because I just didn't see it. There were a lot of freaking people there. So, and who knows, maybe that was the time I, had to go use the John or something, or went to go get water or whatever. But it's just so surreal it's making it real. That whole 3 days there, it just makes it more real instead of just kind of like a newsreels, So
that was interesting.
So what was that? What happened?
Ding, ding, ding.
I didn't hear that.
It was like, like an email notification or an app notification.
Oh, was it for me? Oh, you know what? It came through my phone, and I've got the volume. When my phone goes through here, I got the volume on my end down, so I don't hear the ring so loud. So real quick, let's go down to here real quick. I want to show you something. So I saw this picture the other day, and I was like, is it here? Okay, so I'm sitting here. I saw this picture. I thought that reminded me someplace. And it just looks so, it's just like last night I was just laying there and I'm looking at this and I think that'd be just kind of cool, just on a nice, beautiful day, just to lay back, read a book, listen to some music, maybe throw a fishing pole in the lake there. And, and I kept looking and I kept looking. That's not a lake. That's a fence between two houses.
Okay, don't worry. I came to the same conclusion now too. I thought, oh my God, look how
I should go like, look at that. It still looks like a lake no matter how you blow it up. But then when you get up larger, you can see the little slat lines.
Yeah.
I was looking at that and I thought, man, this just looks so nice. It looks like a lake. It's still, it's not. I was like, boy,
It
didn't I feel stupid?
it still does though.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
just goes to prove that uh how complex the human brain is, because what you see is not necessarily what's there.
Yeah. You're right. Hey, Dylan. Dylan's in the house. Um, let's see what everybody has to say before we get right into the book. Um, hello. Hey,
Cool.
Helen's here. 𝐫𝐞𝐥𝐜𝐸's here. Hey, oh man, we got a nice crowd. Dylan, Charlie, our resident doctor. Um, Dylan, I'd be interested to hear more about the discovery they made in the autopsy about his hair being white. And I'd heard that it was white, but I've never heard if he had a full. It Larry Geller says he had a full head of white hair, and a couple other people said the same thing. I mean, you
Yeah.
take a look at Vernon. I mean, Vernon was white hair. When he was, almost about the time he married D bitch Stanley. Sorry, I do voice. I do have a tendency to voice my opinion about things.
Yeah, Dan Warlick also said that the first inch and a half of his hair was white.
Yeah, the whatever they used for rinse or all that was still in there, but his hair had grown out in between. Billy Smith said he didn't have gray hair. Do I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't know because I mean, Billy of anybody would know because he washed his hair.
Mm.
So I don't know. Different stories. But to me, once again, this is not taken away from the comment about it, but to me, it's like the book. It's like what was he reading? It was like The Color Pajamas. At the end of the day, it has, on this whole scheme of things. But I'm not surprised that it would be white if it was, or all gray, because
Mm.
you just look at his father and he had and blondes usually go. I think this is my opinion, but if you're blonde headed or really light haired, your hair will go white sooner, usually, or at least. Anyway, I'll shut up before I stick my both feet in my mouth.
Yeah, he was. I think he was just genetically predisposed to early gray, and then of course the stress also.
Yeah,
I mean, look at me. I'm 46 and I've got gray hair. Like, what the fuck?
yeah,
But I'm slowly learning to embrace my gray, because every time I talk to my father, it always comes up in the conversation, and he's like, "No, you're looking at it wrong. You're looking at it from the wrong perspective. Gray hair is proof that you're living life, that you're gaining life experience. So see it as every time there's a new gray hair, just see it as a new lesson that you've undertaken and a new lesson
boy,
that you've learned.
I've had a lot of lessons in my life. Apparently,
Yeah, yours have fallen out.
well, I tell you, yeah, they went gray. They took off. They went somewhere else. Yeah, I'm laughing because my two brothers who are coming next in April, they have full heads of hair. They have no receding hairline at all. And but my dad, he's like I'm just like my dad. You know. Um. Anyway, it doesn't really make any difference. That's why
I
they make
guess
that's why they make baseball caps.
I guess we all get to that point in life at some point. We all start having issues with receding hairlines and gray.
Yeah.
But I suppose when you get to like your age, it's kind of like, oh well,
Yeah.
I'm grateful to still have hair. It doesn't matter what color what color it is.
Well, for the last few years, I really haven't had a mirror or anything I really look at that often. And with being here in the chair and then wearing caps most of the time, I never realized how much hair was gone until that day when I took the clippers and clipped it. Then I looked up and I put the FaceTime camera on and looked at it and I go, where the fuck did it go? It's not there. I looked on the floor. There's nothing down there but just a bit. And I go, holy crap. I cried for about an hour and then it was over with. It was like I looked at it and I go. It was like
5 minutes later.
Yep, 5 minutes later. All right, guys. Let's get into it. It has a. Let's see. Let's check. We got 25 people here. That's good for 3 o'clock on a Wednesday. We had a blast yesterday on the listen party, guys.
Yeah.
It was 4 hours long. This listen party. We listened to it. We talked about it. We shared some clips. Who was it that sent me the videos? Satnin.
Satnin, yeah.
Satnin sent me some great clips. I wanted to share the ones that Patty got me, but we ran out of time, and I want to show. So I'm going to put something together. She was really sweet, and when she went, she had the camera, so I could watch the movie. So I got to see the movie, but there's nothing that could be done about getting that quality in the IMAX feel, obviously. But I got to at least see how it was put together, and I thought, okay, this is going to be cool. I can't wait till it comes out. So when we have the watch party,
you guys are gonna have to make time because the watch party is gonna be.
We're gonna have fun, and I might wind up doing 2 watch parties because the thing is it's gonna have to get to the point when I have so many people, I'm gonna have to cut it off because there's gonna be so many people. So I might wind up doing 2 of them, but it was fun listening to it. What I did is I put a video together, so we're not just sitting there listening. So I had some actual screenshots or pictures from the movie that were, so I put that all together per song, and it was good. The album, I gave it like a 7.5 or 8 out of. There was a couple songs that are, I don't like it. Burning Love and
you know what the coolest part was for me about it? Seeing those orbs.
Oh my God. I recorded the thing. I need to clean it up, and what I'll do is I'll put it up where I won't be able to put it on YouTube because copyright on the songs right now on the music. But yeah, it was wild. Satin and and I will say this too. It was some really good points given to me that I need to take those remixes in perspective and wait until I see the movie to see how it fits in with it. So it might change my mind. But Satin had some video clips, really good. Oh my God, those were clear. It was almost high def, it was, or 4K, but it was really good. But anyway, every time it showed Elvis, he had a glow. He had this white, not even so much as an orb, but it was a glow. It was, and it just emanated from him. It was almost like this energy was coming out of him. And it was the white and the lighting, but it was only him. Nobody else had that, and it was just wild. I got to put that together. You guys have to seeing what? I don't know. The movie, Epic. That's what we're going to do a watch party on when it comes out on streaming. The day it comes out, we're going to do a watch party for those who haven't seen it. Anybody that wants to see it again, or just join the party and have some fun because. What happens in Zoom stays in Zoom. That's all I can say. It could be worse in Vegas, actually, on some of the conversations we have. But we had everybody, with the exception of a couple people that couldn't hang through the whole thing, and one person had internet issues and he was having problems. So she wound up dropping out because of the connection. But everybody hung there. We all talked. It was cool. Nice chat. We have chats and. You guys, let's see, what do we got here? What was that? The true fans love Elvis, the good and the not so good. So defenders out there, Elvis does not need defending. Okay, so Jerry's here. Okay, so here, let's go. So now we're at chapter 9 of Decoded. Now, just to keep in mind, worse than Vegas, CCAT says, yeah, especially Friday nights. Anyway, we're up to chapter 9 on Elvis Decoded. And now we're up to the point where it's the bone cancer theory. So I know that Charlie did a show somewhere, and he was talking about Elvis telling stories, and he talked about it, as if it was a matter of fact that Elvis had bone cancer.
It was in the documentary that Charlie did, the Elvis I Knew.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. So, anyway, let's just see what this has. As always, this is not word for word of what the original book was. I've taken it had it all paraphrased so that I don't get any copyright. But our discussion of this book, I mean, just talking about this book and bringing it up, we've been able to sell some of the books through that. Some people have bought the book because of it. So we've promoted some sales for Patrick Lacey on this, but it's not a bashing; it's just a discussion. So the bone cancer. Did Elvis have bone cancer? Based on the available evidence, there is no credible proof that Elvis Presley had bone cancer or any form of cancer. The theory appears to have developed as a way to provide a more sympathetic explanation for his declining health and heavy use of prescription medication. For some, cancer offered a cleaner narrative than addiction or drug dependency. I don't know really how that would give an explanation for it. Well, for declining health, yeah, but you these the people that I've heard it from. Who did you say said he had it? Oh no,
Charlie.
yeah, Charlie said he had it, but Charlie's not a doctor, so I don't know where he got it, and I guess we'll find out here what the conclusion is. From the sound of it right now, from what he said, it sounds like his conclusion is no. But we'll just so several individuals have publicly supported the bone cancer claim, though their statements raise more questions than answers. Larry Geller stated Elvis was dying. He was, and later wrote that he believed Elvis had cancer. However, I got to do it like Larry. However, he admitted he did not know how he knew this, only that he felt certain.
We're all dying.
There is no indication that Geller processed medical documentation or possessed documentation or firsthand confirmation from doctors. His assertion appears to have been based on intuition rather than verifiable evidence.
Hmm.
If I know somebody who's sick and going downhill, I would never make an analysis like that. Oh, you probably got bone cancer. And now I know people that have done that. It's coming to me. Oh, really? You got a headache? You might have a tumor. Oh, that's from a movie, isn't it, with Arnold Schwarzenegger? I don't have a tumor. That's a funny scene. Anyway, I would never do that, but people have done that to me. Oh, you got to have diabetes. Well, I don't have diabetes, or other things like that. You're not a fucking doctor. Get out of my way. Charlie Hodge also claimed that Elvis was dying of bone cancer and suggested that Dr. Nick told him. Yet accounts differ. Some versions state that Dr. Nick revealed this information in strict confidence to Hodge, Kathy Westmoreland, and Geller. Others conflict on who was present or whether the information was directly conveyed by the doctor at all. Kathy Westmoreland has similarly stated that she was told Elvis had bone cancer by Dr. Nick. However, inconsistencies remain among the various recollections. If the doctor truly reveals such a grave diagnosis, it is difficult to understand why he would disclose confidential medical information to multiple non-family members.
Yes.
And I agree. These
He would,
people knew who Dr. Nick was, but they did not have that relationship with him.
and especially with the fact that Elvis was so high profile. Uh, I
Keep,
don't for I don't for one second believe that Dr. Nick would have shared information with them first prior to sharing with Vernon. Well, even if he did share with Vernon, he would have he would not have shared the information with non-relevant people as
well,
freely as
especially,
as as
I,
freely as that.
I mean, the only person of that group that I would think that maybe he did say something would be Charlie.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't think Dr. Nick, because we all know that Larry Geller was not uh, very well liked among everybody else. I'm sorry, I have my camera off for a second because I sit up. So, So Charlie would be the only one I would assume. I would think that he would talk to, but once again, I haven't read Doctor Nick's book yet. So I'm going to hold off on my analysis because I don't really know. I know a lot of people say that Doctor Nick got a really bad deal about people from people who really said that he was just um, that he didn't really care that much about Elvis or whatever or something. But I've heard other stories that he was really an honorable person and really got a raw deal about a lot of the things he was accused of.
You
But
know,
there's some things that I don't agree that he should have done either.
I'll admit I was one of those people. Prior to reading his book, I was one of those people that placed the blame solely on him.
Yeah,
But after reading the book and becoming privy to certain information from his perspective and what he actually went through, um, I was one of the first people to say that. I think, unfortunately, in his case, he was convicted in the court of public opinion
yeah.
long before he got to court.
Well, yeah. Everybody, because everybody knew that Elvis was taking prescription drugs. Well, who was he going to get them mainly from? And that's why they went after him. Natalie
Mm.
says in the book, The Death of Elvis, which I've gotten, I haven't read yet, and in Dr. Tennant's book, they said in black and white that Elvis did not have cancer. And it was just a rumor. And Dr. Tennant, I would definitely take his analysis.
I think what happened in that instance, and it's by no fault of anybody because it's a human response. I think because it happened so quickly. Usually, when people pass so quickly, the natural thing to do is to try and look for an excuse or a reason
Hmm.
to make it because the human thing to do is okay, but he was so young or she was so young and it happened so quick. There has to be a specific reason why.
Some people just die of natural causes at an early age. It's almost predisposed, for them. It's almost in the cards. And I'm sorry, I'm
Mm.
moving my picture in. So, and of course, here we are. We're dealing with Elvis, who would be the victim of so many different rumors and so many different stories. But when Charlie said it, I didn't. He said it in a way like he was an authority. And I love Charlie no end. I'm sorry, guys. I'm having to go back and forth with this chair. I can't get comfortable, so just ignore me. I'm going to shut
Can see it
my
like
block.
zzz,
Huh?
zzz.
I
Can
know it's
see
like
like
back and forth.
going back and forth and up and down.
Well, I've been doing a lot of stuff, and my right leg's like been cramping today because I think I twisted it. But anyway, just bear with me. Um, I may be grunting, but I promise you, I'm not sitting on the commode. Dumbass remark, wasn't it? Okay. Anyway, I don't think he had cancer. At the end of the day,
Fire in the hole!
huh?
Fire in the hole!
Yeah. Ooh. Okay, we digress here. All right,
No,
so
I don't go for the bone cancer thing either.
yeah, I don't either. As January 20th, 2000 article in the Commercial Appeal quoted Nick as saying he was not sure about the bone cancer rumor and that the doctors at BMH believed abnormal cells, if any were observed, may have been caused by something else entirely. That statement does not support a confirmed cancer diagnosis. So personally, I don't believe it. Prove it to me. Show me the documentation. Show me the receipts, however they want to call it. But I never thought he had bone cancer. And I'm going to tell you something too. I knew somebody had bone cancer. Elvis would have never been able to walk on that stage with bone cancer.
Mm.
It's a brutal, painful and for him to be able to move around, I don't believe it for a minute. I think it's a diversion to try to take away from the real cause and the real issues that he had, and that's you know a little bit of abuse of prescription drugs. You all right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So more decisively, a pathologist involved in the autopsy addressed the claim directly. When asked about the bone cancer theory, he responded unequivocally, "There was no cancer anywhere." He noted that the autopsy had been thorough and that bone marrow samples were extracted and tested. The findings were reviewed by consultants and no evidence of bone cancer was discovered. So, I mean, even the pathologist right there. Marty Lacker has offered another possible explanation for how the rumor began. He suggested that if the cancer story was circulated, it may have been intended to justify the prescription of, how do you say that again?
Deloaded.
Deloaded?
Deloaded, yeah.
Deloaded. Instead of proloaded, it's deloaded. Deloaded. Okay. I'm just trying to associate it so I can remember it. Deloaded. I'll just think of loaded. And you're not loaded, deloaded. Okay, I got it. It's kind of like the book in the pajamas, huh? A powerful opioid typically reserved for severe pain, including terminal cancer patients. If Elvis had been legitimately suffering from cancer, such a prescription might have appeared medically justified. Lacker also pointed out an important legal consideration. In 1980, Dr. Nick was indicted by a Shelby County grand jury for overprescribing medication to multiple patients, including Elvis, Jerry Lee. If Elvis had been diagnosed with cancer, such a condition would have provided a strong legal defense for prescribing potent narcotics. Yet no such defense was presented. That's a good point.
As far as memory serves me, Dilaudid is a synthetic form of heroin. That's why it's so addictive.
Where's Charlie? Charlie can give us some info on that. Pop it in there, Charlie, if you got any information on. I think he's here, isn't he?
Yeah, Charlie's here. Yeah, if I am wrong, please tell me. But as far as I'm aware, Dilaudid is a synthetic form of heroin.
Thank you.
And in those days, it was prescribed primarily to cancer patients for pain management.
Some people will believe anything. Natalie, did you ever run to the ones who said Elvis had all these brothers and they took turns being Elvis? Oh, yeah, I've heard that crap. I did a bunch of videos of duets of Elvis, like side by side on the Aloha, where he, the songs he sang. I took the one from the rehearsal and one from the concert, and I put them side by side and had it play through. So he'd do the whole song and he was singing them with himself. And the two things that really proved to me that is the timing was almost exactly the same between each day. There was not if I ever had to adjust anything, it was more like a tempo of this tempo was almost like, just say 94 beats. The other one was like 93. So I just had to compress or bring in just a little bit to match it up. But I would always get comments from this one guy, actually two different people. Well, look, they go, see, now here's proof that Jesse was still alive. And if I had known anything about Deloaded, I would have responded to him, "Get off that Deloaded, dude." Fucking people. Some of the comments I get, I'll have to share. I got a nasty comment from somebody yesterday for a comment I left on somebody's page, somebody's video the other day. It's a really stupid woman. Anyway, I hate to say woman, but it was a woman. The omission is significant. If Elvis had been undergoing treatment for bone cancer, medical records and testimony would almost certainly have surfaced during the trial. They did not. So here is his conclusion. There is no medical documentation, autopsy evidence, or credible testimony confirming that Elvis had bone cancer. A pathologist directly involved in the postmortem examination stated that no cancer was found. Furthermore, the absence of any cancer diagnosis during Dr. Nick's legal defense strongly undermines the claim. The bone cancer theory appears to be rooted in rumor, speculation, and retrospective interpretation rather than fact.
Mm-hmm.
So, one short chapter, he takes a rumor and just totally rips it to pieces and says, no proof, nothing. There's nothing. You know, you got Larry Geller says Kathy Westmoreland and Charlie Hodge, but once again, I don't feel Dr. Nick would have divulged that, especially to Larry Geller.
To anybody.
Yeah. Well, no, I do. I think the mix though right there is take Larry out of the mix and say it was just Kathy and Charlie. I could almost. What the fuck? This thing's supposed to be blocking spam calls. Anyway, so I mean, I would if Dr. Nick said, yeah, I did mention something to Charlie Hodge and Kathy Westmoreland, I wouldn't feel so bad about it as if he said, yeah, and I told Larry about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes any sense, but you know, I just think of the personalities and you know, just their standing among that group. What Kathy and Charlie were really highly respected amongst everybody in the group. Larry wasn't. Larry was not liked really by anybody in the group. And even though he was the last one to touch Elvis before they closed the casket, so that's the funniest story to watch him. You got to watch him tell the story. You can't listen to him. You got to watch him. It's just like he's. And just before he closed that casket door, that classic lid, I slid my hand in and I just touched his forehead. I just slid it right in there. And I was the last person to touch Elvis. You got a pretty good impression of Larry? All right. Chapter 10.
Shame, you know, Larry is like a Wyatt Terrier for me. You know why I say that?
Yeah.
Wyatt Terriers, when you look at them, they're like really, really strange looking dogs.
Yeah.
But once you get to know them, they're actually quite cute, and you kind of feel sorry for the little guy in the end of the day. You know, Larry's like that.
No, Larry's not cute. He's not cute. He's comedy relief for me. That's why I like watching him. I like watching when he pops in because it's actually kind of funny to watch, listen to him tell stories. And it got real quiet, and we were sitting in the woods, and we heard this rustling noise. It sounded like somebody walking on leaves, and I knew who it was. I knew it was the tall, thin man, and he had a machete in his hand. And I could see that through the woods when nobody else could. It was the shine of the moon that was shining on his tall, skinny, bald head. And I knew it was the thin man. And we were all going to die. But before we died, I touched everyone in the group's forehead so that they all may live. Can you imagine going camping with him, sitting around a campfire telling stories? All right, guys, let's get moving. We're on a serious subject here. Elvis and drugs, August 15th to the 16th, 1977. What drugs did Elvis take the day he died? Okay, so this gets really detailed. So I'll probably I'll let I'll let Cam say the prescription drugs since he's very familiar with the names of them more than I can. Plus, two, my tongue kind of gets in the way of trying to pronounce words sometimes, or my mouth, or whatever, or my ignorance. What drugs? So the events surrounding the final hours of Elvis's life have become increasingly tangled over time. Accounts from witnesses, associates, and published sources conflict so dramatically that constructing a reliable timeline is nearly impossible. The commonly accepted sequence is this. Some peeps move their hands when they speak. Larry moves his arms. It's funny. Yeah. I do that. You guys can't see it most of the time because my arms are, but I do a lot because I grew up with two deaf brothers, so we were very animate. Late evening, August 15th, Elvis went to the dentist. Early in the morning, around 4 to 7 a.m., Ginger, Elvis, Billy, and Joe Smith played racquetball. After we got another shout out from Danny Smith last night.
Ooh.
Cool. So I tell you, and yeah, I love this show. They're really good. Those are two good people. Shauna did an awesome interview with them this weekend.
Did he give us the shout out on his channel or
on his channel?
Oh, cool.
His channel, I say. So he he shouted out to I forget the other person, but he shouted. Oh, and then that Australian guy got all of his videos put back up today. The strikes are all gone. All 4 strikes are gone. So his all videos back. Anyway, so he said that Kyle sent me a little saying, "Hey, you got a shout out yesterday." He showed it on the transcript. So I went back to read it, listen to it, and Danny mentioned, he goes, so he goes, "Call me." And so I sit there, I go, "Well, fuck, I can't call you. I don't know your fucking phone number." I just sit there, and I thought that to myself. I don't know your phone number, and I thought, oh, that would be so cool. I just said that out of just to myself. But that'd be kind of cool. I would love to have a chat with him.
I would go back and comment and say, okay, here's my email address.
Well, what I want to, I've done that once before, so I may do that. I'd like to have an interview with him, but I want to give it a little time between Shauna's too, because I don't want to just pile up right after hers. But yeah, I would love to talk to both of them, and I have questions that I just have curiosity questions. They're not like, do you think he had bone cancer, stuff like that. It's more happy type things. Did he ever do this or that, or did you guys ever do this? And it would be kind of cool to hear from him. Hopefully, give him questions that he's really never been asked.
Yeah,
which
have a conversation with the guy instead of like a ping pong match. Because I think a lot of these guys, Shane, the interviews end up being like a ping pong match kind of thing. They hit the ball and then you hit it back, and then they hit the ball again. It's not a flowing conversation, and it can be very difficult talking to someone when you have that kind of conversation. It's like, okay, I'm going to say something, then you say something, then I say something. No, just have a flowing conversation.
Well, what I want to do is I want to look into his time frame with Elvis and how old he was here, because I think he's a little bit younger than me, but he, I want to know his time frame in the scheme of Elvis's, what was going on, and then I would formulate my questions about that, not ask questions that he might have heard from his father or other people.
Yeah.
I want to ask questions that were his personal experiences.
His experience, yeah.
Yeah, and him and Lisa, and just different, just different, and all positive questions. All this negative shit about, do you think Elvis committed suicide, or do you think he's still alive? That's National Enquirer stuff. Leave that to Ginger and people like that. But anyway, let's get back to this. I think it'd be exciting, but it was exciting to hear that. That's twice down in the last week, so it's nice to be. And then he uses my phrase that I started, defender pretender. I love it. I started that. I got the video where I first started it, And that was a year and a half ago. I started that, and it's picked up. So I thought it was pretty cool. I started that. After racquetball, Elvis and Ginger returned to his bedroom. After 9 a.m., Elvis entered the bathroom to read. What happened in the 10 to 11 hours in between remains disputed. 10 to 11 hours in between. In between what? The dentist at 9 a.m. That's what we're talking about. Okay. Remains disputed. Well, yeah, you got so many different people telling stories, telling what happened from their perspective. None of them to me are, well, majority of them I don't think are lying. They just have different angles, different perspectives of what happened, you know? But then I think some things were just told to kind of cover things up too. Okay, see if I get this right. The Deloitte prescription.
Yes.
If I say it enough, I'll remember it. One central issue is the Deloitte. Trust me, guys, I'm very well educated. I just have a problem pronouncing some of these prescription words and things like that. Or sometimes I have a difficult time saying, my name is Rick.
Okay, well, according to Google, Danny was born in March 1962.
So he was 4 years young, or he's 4 years younger than me. So we're kind of like, we're in that same. We're both in that generation, the baby boomers age, and all that time, and so he pretty much grew up. He pretty much, I would say, grew up in the time period of Elvis that I did. According to some accounts, Elvis phoned Dr. Nick between 2 and 3 a.m. This is on the 15th, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Morning of the 16th.
Morning of the 16th, yeah.
2 and 3 a.m. requesting pain meds due to dental work. Dr. Nick stated that he authorized a prescription, reportedly for 6 Deloitte tablets, twice in a row, through an all-night pharmacy. Yet contradictions immediately appear. Nick later claimed the medication was not delivered. The pharmacist stated that he filled the prescription around 2:30 a.m. and that Rick Stanley picked it up. Rick Stanley claimed Elvis personally handed him the prescription between 5 and 6 a.m., which conflicts with the earlier timeline. Now, out of these three, I would take Nick and Dr. Nash's word.
Okay, here's a contradiction right here. Handed him the prescription between 5 and 6 a.m. Okay, right. According to that timeline is flawed because remember, between the hours of 4 and 7, they were at the racquetball courts because Billy said Elvis called just before 4 a.m. asking him to meet them down at the racquetball court to go play racquetball. And he said by the time they got back in the house, the sun was already rising.
But this doesn't say where Rick Stanley was. Could he have been gone by the racquetball club?
Okay, but then my question is, why would he have taken Elvis the medication at the racquetball club? Why not just wait for him to get upstairs?
I agree. To me, there's not enough information in these three, but I agree with you what you're saying, though. I find that as a contradiction. That's why I was saying, out of these 3 bullet points right here, I accept the first two in a way, and then the third one I don't accept at all.
No, and also, and that's separating my opinion from my credibility with regard to the Stanley brothers, because everybody knows they don't have credibility with me with them.
Yeah.
But just putting it practically, it would not have happened that way. Not between 5 and 6. Maybe earlier, before they went down to the racquetball court. Maybe that's a possibility, but not in the timeline that he states here.
I'm looking at some of the chat here. I'm trying to stay a little bit more. Kim earlier said some people will believe anything. Did you ever run to the ones who said Elvis had all these brothers? Oh, I read that earlier. Nancy's laugh. Let's see. Cat, some peeps mover. Yeah. Great for the Aussie channel. Talk to Danny like he's your best friend. Yeah, that's what I did with Sally. You remember my interview with Sally? I did a
Yeah.
lot of research, and what I did is I went and watched a bunch of her other previous interviews, and I made it a point not to ask her any of the questions that they asked her because it's redundant. I want to be different. I just wanted to have a nice conversation, and I just started it off with just telling her a little bit about my history and the relationship with Elvis and why this book meant so much to me, and then we just had a discussion back and forth. And the first thing I think I broke the ice by saying, what in the hell made you want to jump down this rabbit hole of Elvis's, health issues? She just laughed. It's just like, that was a big topic to go into.
But she's completely dropped off the face of the planet.
Yeah. Well, she emailed me a couple times the last couple of weeks.
Uh huh.
When I put up that whining and crying that he did to her, for the strikes that were given to him, but you know what I'm talking about, the unmentionable. When I did that, I shared the email that was
Mm-hmm.
he sent to her. Well, she sent me an email. Why are you posting my emails? It's personal. And I thought I thought I did right. I did cross out her name and everything, but still I shared it. So I took her down immediately and apologized to her for it. I said, I'm really sorry. And she came back real nice and everything and said, I hope you're doing well. And then that interview that we saw with with Ron Strauss, the pilot, there was some clips in there of Sally. So I emailed her, told her, I said, I just did a video this weekend. I didn't realize that you were going to be in it. That was live streamed. I just want to make sure everything. So I told her what it was, and she didn't have an issue with it. So that's it. Hold on. I'm going to sneeze here in a second. One of those sneezes I just can't. Anyway, so further confusion arises from Stanley's statement that the medication was in capsule form. Medical professors have stated Decoded was not available in capsule form at that time.
Yes.
Nick described it as tablet form. If Elvis truly received 6 Decoded tablets, the next question is, did he take them? Rick Stanley said Elvis took them.
Of course he's going to say Elvis took them.
Yeah. Nick later claimed he found all 6 tablets untouched in Elvis's bathroom. Toxicology reports did not detect Decoded in Elvis's system. So I got to kind of go with Dr. Nick. These claims cannot all be true simultaneously. So I'm with Dr. Nick on this one. He made in saying that Elvis never took them. And of course, the toxicology report says the same thing.
Toxicology didn't find any?
Mm-mm.
No,
just said that. Toxicology reports did not detect.
Did not. Okay, so no, then he didn't take them.
Yeah, that's the ultimate receipt right there.
And besides, even if he did, they would have found traces in his liver and kidneys, which they didn't. So no, he didn't take any. He hadn't taken any, at least for, I'm not sure, maybe, I don't know how long it stays in the system for, but I would assume 72 hours or more.
No. These claims cannot all be true simultaneously. Hey, SP100 in the house. We got a great discussion going on here. We're in Decoded on chapter 10, I think it is. So Rick Stanley's whereabouts.
Here we go.
The reliability of the medication timeline depends heavily on Rick Stanley's location. Well, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's the ultimate. Different accounts place him. I love the very first one. Passed out in Graceland's basement on Demerol. At a Howard Johnson motel nearby, drinking and using drugs. Running errands and delivering medication to Elvis upstairs. Present with Elvis until 5 or 6 a.m.
No. Because they were still down, they were the racquetball courts in that time frame.
Yeah, Dick Grobe claims both Stanley brothers were at the Howard Johnson motel during key morning hours, yet other sources insist Rick delivered medication at 4 a.m. and again at 7:30. Didn't he deliver some? Didn't wasn't some medication delivered to Ginger at one time?
Yes.
I wonder if what medication he delivered at 4 a.m. was. Well, that was they were at the racquetball court, right?
Yes.
Okay. If Rick was at the motel, he could not have delivered medication. And
No.
Rick's the one that's not alive anymore, right? David and Billy are the ones that are still alive.
Billy is passed.
Well, there's two of them
Um,
still alive, right?
David is still alive. I think, I'm not sure. Anybody in the chat, please help us out and put this one to rest, because every time these three come up, I never know who's here and who's not here. I
Yeah,
know Billy is passed a couple years ago. Billy passed.
yeah. I remember one of them passing. The mother's long gone, thank God. Um, I usually don't wish something like that, but there's some people just don't need to be, in the world anymore because of. If he delivered medication, he could not have been at the motel. Both versions cannot stand.
Mm-mm.
The attacks and additional medications. Complicated matters further are the so-called attack packets of a medication reportedly prepared for Elvis Nightly. According to some sources, these packets contain combinations of Demerol, Amitol, codeine, Valmid, Aventil, Nimbutol, Elav,
Eleville.
Elavil. I just give me an aspirin. I'm fine. I can say that. Billy Smith stated Elvis took one packet around 6 a.m. and another around 7:45 a.m. He denied knowledge of a third. Other accounts describe a first attack delivered around 4 a.m., a second attack at 7:30, a third attack requested after Elvis entered the bathroom. Tish Henry, I thought when he walked in the bathroom, nobody heard a word from him again.
Exactly, and I was just going to say there, if there's any credibility to this, a third attack requested after Elvis entered the bathroom, if that was the case, why was nobody close by to him?
Yeah. Tish Henley, the nurse, testified that she sent two Valmids and Placidil placebo to help Elvis sleep after 8 a.m. She also stated that Decoded was sent for Ginger Alden's menstrual cramps, a claim Ginger later denied. By approximately 9 a.m., depending on which version one accepts, Elvis may have had access to codeine from the dentist, 6 Decoded tablets, 2 or 3 attacks, Valmid, a placebo plus placebo, possibly additional dilated.
A Placido placebo.
Thank you very much. I'm going to stop and let you speak instead of me bumbling and sounding like light medication, as Grobe described it. Yet Dr. Nick later dismissed the idea of overdose by saying, I don't think he had anything there to OD on. That statement is difficult to reconcile with the volume of meds reportedly present.
And
So,
here's another question. Why would Tish say she delivered medication when she didn't? She has no reason to lie.
yeah, what did she say there?
Tish said she delivered medication for Ginger for her menstrual cramps, right?
Well, she
But
said she sent two Valmids and, whatever it is, placebo to help Elvis sleep after 8 a.m. She also stated one Decoded was sent for Ginger Alden's cramps.
right, and if you look at it from the other perspective, uh, what reason would Ginger have to deny taking the Decoded tablet? Well, simple. Decoded was not obviously something that she would take regularly. So obviously, if she taken that medication, the medication would have knocked her out, giving credence to the fact that she would not have been anywhere close to hearing, even if Elvis had called out for help. She would have been so knocked out on the medication, she wouldn't have known anyway. So again, putting those hypothetical opinions on the table here, Tish is a medical practitioner employed to do a job, to dispense medication.
Mm,
That's her job. Why would she lie and say no, that medication was dispensed when in fact it wasn't?
yeah.
But when you look at it from Ginger's perspective, why would she deny receiving the pills? Because then it places her, she's in a position of, she's in a position where blame can be shifted and said, okay, right, if she
Yeah.
wasn't knocked out on medication,
Right.
she could have helped. So she has more reason to deny receiving the medication than Tish has to deny dispensing the medication.
Yeah. She would by not taking them. She had plausible deniability on everything.
Yes.
Um, Contradictions in the testimony. Further inconsistencies include:
Oh,
well,
here
good
we go.
old Lamar Fight claimed Elvis hadn't eaten for 15 to 20 hours.
Okay, but let's be fair. Uh, what's her name? Nancy said that Elvis hadn't eaten since Sunday night.
Right. Another source states Elvis ate cookies and ice cream at 4 a.m. Elvis allegedly requested medication for dental pain, insomnia, and a sore throat, yet Grobe claimed nothing special seemed to be bothering him. Well, I've heard from a few people that there was dental pain. You see, Kim, okay, so Kim got information. Rick passed away on January 5th, 2019, at the age of 65. Billy and David, yeah, are the ones that are still living.
Okay.
And Rick passed away due to liver and kidney failure, which a lot of times can be caused by drugs, especially the liver.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if nothing serious was wrong, why the repeated medication requests? If medication was not delivered, why did witnesses describe it? If Deloitte was taken, why was it not detected? And if it was not taken, why do some claim Elvis ingested it?
Mm-hmm.
The bathroom question. Nick reportedly stated he found the Deloitte tablets in the bathroom. But consider the timeline. The doctor arrived as Elvis was being placed into the ambulance. He
Yes.
accompanied Elvis to BMH. He later returned to Graceland after Elvis was pronounced dead. Paramedics reported the Benjamin bathroom had already been cleaned.
Mm.
David Stanley claimed he gathered visible medications before the doctor arrived. So Doc Nick says he saw him there, but at other accounts are saying that it was all clean. That Dr. Nick never. Dr. Nick would have had no reason to go up to the bathroom at that time when he got there,
No.
because he showed up right when they were pulling Elvis out and putting him in the ambulance. Because we saw that video where you can kind of tell he's jumping into the ambulance. Hmm. Thank you, Kim, for getting that info. That's kind of thought it was Rick, but I didn't know if both the other two were still around. Which one's got a book coming out? Supposedly Surviving Elvis.
David again.
Isn't he the one that wrote the one about faith?
Yes.
Talk about going from one extreme to another, huh? Walking both sides of the fence.
That just goes to prove. I mean, the guy, if you look at him, there's videos of him on YouTube too. That's all he does. He goes
Yeah.
from point A to point B, regurgitating the same shit. And when people start getting tired of hearing the same old stories, he comes and he fabricates another one. That's all he's done ever since Elvis has died.
Yeah.
So he's
That's all they
riding
can
on.
do. They have nothing else to do but try to make money off of Elvis. They're just as incompetent to probably hold a job. I don't know what jobs they've ever held, but they're obviously, if they have, they've obviously got a bad account. They have the inability to manage their money properly. Whatever, the whole family that was all planned at the beginning too.
Yeah, talk about riding on the coattails of Elvis.
And for her to actually think that Elvis would be interested in her.
What an insult.
When he said when he's got a girlfriend at the time like that Anita Wood
Yeah.
that looks like Anita Wood, and then you turn and look at her, it's like going to the left and seeing Anita Wood, and going to the right and seeing Anita Wood in decomp. She was already decomposing, and that's what that was. Sorry, I think she was. Yeah. Is that right? Did you see what SP 100 said?
No.
David lives at the Westgate, which is the Hilton, the International. He lives there
Hmm.
for free,
Jeez, what a life.
and he's part. And I do know that he's involved with this whole Elvis resurgence there this year. And guess who else is going there to give a presentation? Drum roll, please. Miss Peepee. No, that's not what
Oh
we're
my
calling her now. Miss
God.
Peepee. That's a good nickname for her. Like a POS. I call her Miss POS.
There might be a delay on the server, guys. It happens sometimes. That's beyond our control, unfortunately.
What happened?
No,
My,
some
oh, my
some
thing.
guys are saying their comments are not popping through.
Oh, uh, well, that one did. I just, I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. My messages aren't coming through. Well, how am I reading this one? But no, I don't know what's going on, Banjo. Um,
Sometimes I've noticed it's a server error sometimes because the software we use, it bounces to a server and then from their server it bounces back to our system.
yeah, but
Sometimes
it's not showing up. Are you saying it's not showing up on the YouTube chat or on our chat?
no on
Because
as
it's
far
going to show up in their YouTube chat, which is going to come through to me. So see, they're on the YouTube server.
mm,
They're not on 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐿's server, but
mm,
the link is between YouTube and 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐿 sending it back to us.
yes.
So it may be showing up on their chat, but it may not be relaying back. Yeah, that's probably what it is. I think that's what you were saying, Cam.
Mm,
I just
yeah,
decided to do it the Larry Geller way. Um,
it's okay.
I just tell it like Larry sure does. And gets paid to give his talks. I want
What
to
a
know
life.
something. Okay, David is the one. Okay, is David the one that had the rift between him and the Unmentionable? Was it David or was that Billy?
No, it was David.
Because I'm telling you, because he's the one that got on Joe Sin's had an interview with Joe, and the Unmentionable had he literally had his little Hello Kitty panties all in a wad. You
Uh,
know.
as far as I'm aware, Bully doesn't do much
Okay, I want to
in
know
that.
something. If he got, and I hate to be nasty about it, but they are assholes. If he went out and got a pair of dentures, what do you get, Mister Ed's? Those are the fucking biggest freaking teeth I've seen. I don't know. It just they just. I'm sorry, but he looks so dishonest with that, and I expect the wind to blow and them come flying out or something. It's ridiculous. But they're assholes. All three of them were, as far as I know. I didn't really know much about Billy. If that's the one that's not doing the book, it's David. You said is doing the books, right?
Yeah,
Jeez.
David is the one that's in the public eye all the time.
I don't have much respect for a person that will sit there and write a book about faith and his faith and discovering God, and then turn around and write a book that shows hate.
Yeah, that you indirectly insinuate living with the guy was absolute misery.
What a piece of shit he is.
The same person that you to this day, 50 years after his passing away, are still able to live a life
Okay, that was
just
him. Yeah.
just just by association.
Okay, so Billy's the one that was on Joe Sins, but David's the one's writing the books.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it now. And Rick was probably the worst of them all as far as drugs and all that.
As
I
far
don't
as I
know.
know.
I don't know. But they
And
They milked it. They milked that whole thing, and I get my stomach turns every time I hear them call him his brother. Every time they call Elvis his brother, and I tell you, Elvis. You know what? This also shows how much Elvis really didn't like. First of all, to stir the pot. And he also just goes to show that it doesn't that just about anybody he would give a helping hand to, no matter how much he despised them. And I think he despised the Stanleys.
Yeah,
But
I think
but
he
his
was.
exhibition of it in public, or his exhibition it to Vernon and everything else, though I would think that Vernon pretty much knew that Elvis didn't have respect for him, because I know he didn't respect Dee. It just goes to show what type of person Elvis is. I may hate you, I may all that, but you know what? You're my stepbrother. Your family right now, whether I like you or not. I'm going to give you a job. You can work work with us, all that stuff.
Yeah,
But then as soon as they're divorced, when did Vernon and Dee get divorced? Before or after Elvis died?
before
Mm, okay.
70, the early part of 77 or the late part of 76, as far as I remember.
All right. So what did Elvis take? By the morning of August 16th, Elvis had reportedly taken codeine, possibly received dilated. I said that like received or requested multiple attack packets, requested additional sleep medication, possibly received medication intended for ginger. Yet every element of this chain is disputed. After Elvis died, they got divorced, is what SP 100 says. Oh, did they? I wonder if she was at the funeral. I would imagine so. Yet every element of this chain is disputed. Some accounts contradict others directly. Timelines overlap, impossibly. Witnesses disagree not just on interpretation, but on basic sequence and location. So the conclusion that Patrick comes to is this: what drugs did Elvis take on the day he died? The only honest answer is we don't know. And like other things, we'll never know. The testimony is too inconsistent. The timelines conflict. The delivery medication is disputed, and even the presence and absence of drugs cannot be reconciled with certainty. The final hours of August 15th to the 16th remain clouded by contradictory accounts, unreliable memories, and shifting narratives. And because of that, the precise answer to what Elvis took and when may never be known. And I'm telling you, it will never be known. You're not going to know. But it's just interesting, once again, about the variation of stories of people that were all in the same room at all right there at that precise. What was it? About an hour by the time they discover him and they get him out and they get him to the hospital. The stories that are just told are so variant.
Yeah, Kim and SP are right. They formally got divorced in November 77, but they'd been separated since as early as 74, 75 already.
I doubt they were I doubt she was at the funeral. All right, we're at chapter 11. We actually made it to chapter 11. So we've only got 37 more chapters to go. It's something like that. I don't know. I think there's like 30 chapters in this book or something like that. Okay,
Yeah,
we're on the 16th. What's that, Cam?
I said we actually further along in the book than you expected.
Well, yeah, I think once we got through that first initial part of who, time for when it started off with, when he died and who did what, and, there's so much discussion on that. I think getting through the medication and all that, it's just a little more. It moves along a little bit quicker because it's just to me, it's a simpler discussion with some, detailed information. People coming and going. This is the part that I've been wanting to get to, was the whole process of who was there, coming, going, and all that. So we're August 16th, 1977. Hello, Kathleen says, hello, help me. Okay, what?
How can we be of assistance?
How may I help you, Kathleen? that I may not have wanted to ask that question. Let's see what we got. Did she just pop in, or that's kind of a stupid phrase to use? Let us know what we could do. Hello, help me. All right, so returning to the earlier question, how Dr. Nick could have found the lighted tablets in Elvis's bathroom after Elvis died. It helps to map the comings and goings at Graceland on August 16th. All right, this is where it's going to slow down, I think, in movement. Because this is kind of what it started in more of a broad spectrum. And now they're getting down to this person did it. Okay. This chapter focuses on a narrow window from the roughly 14 minutes the ambulance was at Graceland. Oh, I see. So now we're picking it up there. Through the period where Dr. Nick returned to Graceland after Elvis had been declared dead. Who arrived when, who left when, who saw whom, and what other person later claimed is crucial because the accounts do not align. Well, that's a shocker of all shockers, huh?
Yeah. No, you don't say.
More importantly, and you know what? I think in considering the majority of the people that are involved in this thing, I think timelines were created by them or stated in an aspect of protecting themselves from anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another reason. If everybody's just innocent, doing their job, doing what they should, protecting Elvis, and had no ulterior motives or no history with certain things, the whole story would be a little more, would be more fluid together as opposed to being off in all different directions.
Yeah.
So the timeline raises a legitimate question: what exactly did Dr. Dick?
Yeah.
Let's
try that again.
Let's go rewind that. What exactly did Dr. Nick do when he returned to Graceland? And did he make a return trip, a quiet trip upstairs before speaking with Vernon? That's a good question.
But even if he did, the place would have been cleaned up.
Yeah. David Stanley in the house or arriving late. One person puts David in the bathroom at the moment paramedics arrived.
According to who? Dick Grove.
Yeah. David Stanley reportedly reached the bathroom just as the paramedics arrived, placing him in the mansion at around 2:33 p.m. But Millie Smith's account creates a contradiction. Smith said he was heading out to his motorcycle to go to the hospital when he saw David Stanley drive in. Smith got into Stanley's car and Stanley asked, "Where are we going?" That implies Stanley arrived after the ambulance had already left Graceland.
Mm-hmm.
Yet the ambulance video reportedly shows Stanley's car arriving before the ambulance departs, meaning Smith could not have seen him arrive after the ambulance was gone. And here it is, I don't think Billy is misrepresenting anything on purpose. I just think he just considering you got to remember too. You're not in the right frame of mind when you're telling.
No.
I gotta set that appointment. You see that pop up when it does that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that implies Stanley arrived after the ambulance had already left Graceland. Yet the ambulance, yeah, we just read that. So Smith's own statement introduced a second problem. Smith said that Patsy Presley called him and told him to get to the hospital, suggesting he was not in the upstairs bathroom during the resuscitation attempts.
But Billy never said he was there.
Yeah, no. Billy also recalled Patsy mentioning Joe Esposito knocking out Elvis's teeth during resuscitation. again implying Smith lacked firsthand knowledge. But didn't the yeah, you know what, guys? I don't know what's going on with the I don't know what's going on with the posts. Are they? They're not even posted on YouTube, are they? See, I got all this. Yeah, I got all the same ones. So it's something with YouTube.
Mm.
It's got to be YouTube. I can't do anything about that. I don't know because I see the YouTube page here. It's not work. Definitely it's not working.
Maybe if you guys try refresh your page.
Yeah, try refreshing your page. You know what? I'm gonna do that.
Mm.
I just did that. Same ones. They post for a bit, then they won't. I close chat and come back. That's a YouTube.
That's a YouTube issue then.
Shit. I'm sorry, guys. It's beyond me on that one. That's all YouTube.
The only thing I could just suggest is refresh the page, close down the page completely, and then go back in.
Yeah, I just did that, and nothing new's popping in.
Yeah, then it's a YouTube issue.
Okay.
The joys of modern technology.
All right, guys. I just closed and came back. Jerry did. I don't know. Hopefully, it'll pick up.
Maybe it'll
I'm going to check
sort
over here.
itself out.
Trouble. If you're looking for trouble with chat showing all comments in live. Well, that's good, Rick. You spelled in wrong.
Maybe we should slow down the conversation so that the guys don't miss any important information.
Hey, okay, do this. Up at the top, make sure you all got the live chat on and not the you got to have the live chat on. That'll show everything. The top chat will only show specific ones. Doesn't mean that's going to fix the problem. For creators, ensure live chat is enabled. It is enabled. Okay, yeah, and then up at the top, make sure it says live chat. Pull down the little pull down, and because the top chat won't show all posts. So make sure you got that in there. I've got everything checked where I should be getting everything. Okay, all right, guys. At this point, it's beyond me. That's all YouTube.
All YouTube.
It's all YouTube, and that I have no control of. I wish I did. It's strange that some of them come in and some don't. I don't know. Let me see. Write something. Okay, let's do. Hello. Oh, this is Tim and Rick. All right, let's see if that comes through. It showed up on the YouTube one. Oh, I left the L. Hell, all this is Cam and Rick.
Yeah, it's not coming through on the 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸.
Yeah, there's some kind of delay going on with YouTube, so it's not coming up here. But it's not. But everything I got there is on ours, except for my last post.
Okay, I'm going to try something. Stand by and then let's see if that helps.
What are you gonna do?
I'm going to refresh my end and then I'll come back in and then you refresh your end. Let's see if it helps.
Okay. You mean just by internet?
No, just log out and come back in.
Yeah, but we're this okay. Well, that's not going to do anything because this is a YouTube problem.
Oh, okay.
This is YouTube.
What?
Because they're saying they can't see it on the YouTube chat.
Yeah, but they also not showing up in our chats.
Yeah, but mine showed up on the YouTube chat this time, but it did come through ours. So YouTube's not sending it to me now. This sucks. This is ridiculous. Why is it every time we decide to do something like this? Okay, let me post it this way. Hello. Oh, I'm doing it from here this time. Well, I forgot that. That was stupid. Oh, let's try it again. You see, my messages aren't coming through now.
Mm.
The only suggestion I could have is that we close down this stream and restart it again. But the problem is, y'all got to log right. It's not going to be the same link, so you got to.
Yeah.
Kim just came through.
Yeah, Kim came through. Send us a testing one so that we can see who's all coming through and who's all not. Then we can kind of narrow down.
Yeah, I see mine didn't come through when I did it from the actual YouTube channel.
No.
But when I do it from here, it didn't pop in.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but then I don't know. Let me see. Hold on. Keep going. I'm just going to check something here. Okay, so we're live right now. Your videos. Live right now. Let me edit. Let me see. Customization. See, everything's here. Everything's checked. Live chat replay. Anyone can send a message. Everything's there. There's nothing here blocking anything.
Yeah, then it's an internal YouTube issue.
Yeah. Now this is what we can do. So to kind of screw up, if I make a statement where we're at, but I could end this right now as a test. Yeah. See, SP came through. Geraldine came through. Are you still there, Kathleen? Try sending a test. I think she did actually, didn't she? Okay, so yours came through. I would say send me a message if they're not coming through, but I guess I won't get that message. What do you think? You think I should shut down and then come right back? And you guys, you'll just have to go to our channel. It'll come up live.
And then,
yeah, people aren't even able to get in. That's weird. All right, guys, listen. I'm going to close this broadcast right now, and then I'm going to come right back live. So just click on the live, go to my channel, make sure you can click in, and let's see what happens. Let's just give it a shot.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're ending it now. Hang, don't go anywhere. You know, and we'll be back within 5 minutes.
I wanted.
Okay, it's going to come up with 0 right now, but please check your internet connection, ensure it's stable. Reconnecting. Please check your internet connection. Well, it's not me that's having the problem. It's YouTube.
Because remember, I got it earlier also. I got the same thing. It whacked out my connection before we went live.
Yeah. It's taking forever to connect. See, that's YouTube. It's taking forever to connect. Because see, their comments, they're putting their comments in the actual YouTube server.
Yes.
So YouTube's not sending it to us.
Yeah, there's a backlog on the YouTube server. It's not refreshing fast enough.
Okay, well, we got 2 people in the house, but it's saying reconnecting. So hang on, guys, if you can hear us. There's 5. People are trying to come in. So
Mm.
okay, layers.
That's where I get pissed off with people like you, companies like YouTube. If they're experiencing issues on their servers, then it's up to them
Let us
to
know.
notify people.
All right, guys. I don't know if you guys can hear us. I see they're showing a few. Yeah, people are plopping in, but now I don't have a fucking screen. You see what I'm seeing, Cam? Where it says
Uh,
reconnecting.
no, I can't see what you're seeing now.
What do you see on the screen? Just a normal screen?
Yeah, I just see the normal screen with the chat and then
Okay.
your chat.
I'm gonna pop out and come right back. So you just hang on there.
Okay, just hang in there, guys. It looks, if you guys can hear me, of course, naturally. Otherwise, what I'm saying here would be absolutely uh, useless and pointless. But it looks like there's a YouTube issue.
Well, that was fun. It works now. Well, let's see what we got for chat. Kathleen testing. All right, you got
Hmm.
send a test. I don't know who's on here. There's Elvis chick. She's there. Hey Cam, she says. 14. We got 14 online. We had
Yeah.
30 when we left. So we
Hmm.
got Kim you all coming through. I'm going to go to the live on my other screen here that I watch. Um live right there. Go. Okay, that's back in. So I'm going to watch the chats there, and y'all let me know if it's working better.
Kathleen's blocked.
No, you're not blocked. Nobody's blocked. Why would I block you? Why would I block anybody here? I know she's joking. I see that looks like a purple pile of shit. I don't know what is that little thing. What is that? It's a purple? Is that a purple pile of shit? Boy, she's got some real. Either that, or been drinking a lot of Pepto Bismol. All right, guys. Hopefully everything's coming through. You guys just give us another signal. Maybe that fixed the problem. I don't know, but
Hmm.
well,
It's
we'll continue with everything here.
Yeah, it looks like they're popping through more consistently now.
We should still be on the same page. Now I'm gonna have to bring it back up. Yep, I gotta hook it back in here. Let's see what were we on? Decoded? Yeah.
Mm.
All right, everybody, tell us how it's working for you. All right.
Mm.
Doesn't seem to be it seems to be working fine now. All right,
Yeah.
guys. We're carefully in my block. All right, guys. Hopefully this is working now. We're back up to 19 people. We left with 31. So you got 22 watching now, it says. Yep. So that's cool. All right, guys. Where were we at? Um, taken together, Smith's remarks suggest that there were critical period he may have been on the property, but not in the bathroom, possibly in the trailer. And who said that? Smith. Right.
Yeah.
Why is this? Oh, you know what? I'm scrolling up the YouTube page, hoping I don't scroll this. What dumbass. Okay, so taken. So all right, who left for the hospital with whom? What are we talking about now? Oh, the time frame about the ambulance and all that.
Mm.
It's after he was left. So published accounts differ wildly on how Billy and David Stanley left Graceland. One version says David ran to the back of the house after the stretcher was loaded, ran into Billy mounting his motorcycle. I don't like that phrase. Shouted, "Let's go," and they took off in David's car after the ambulance. Another guys just put a little thumbs up or whatever. Things are working fine for you. I'm going to keep going on this at your post. Just do sample posts. Every once in a while, just put a thumbs up and just check to make sure you're all coming through. And anyways, I like thumbs up. Another version says Billy Smith had been out riding. He approached David Stanley asking what was happening, and David grabbed him and said, "Come on, it's Elvis." These narratives conflict not only with each other, but also with the claim that Smith was first alerted by telephone. Depending on which story you accept, oh yeah, look at all the thumbs up. That's cool.
Yeah, that says there was a backlog somewhere. A
Depend-
bottleneck.
yeah, this
Oh,
is sweet. Tony Pace. We got a new person.
new person. Welcome.
Welcome. Tell us what part of the world you're in, because we are a global YouTube channel. I just
You
said
just you just have to get your digs in there now and again.
I do. It's the only way I could get. It's like my little videos I create. I don't put them on YouTube or anything. I put it on TikTok. But you know what? It's a release, and that's it. It's just I'm being left alone, and I'm still waiting for the. Anyway, I can't say that on YouTube. I can't broadcast. Anyways, I'm handling things from my end in the legal way. Let's just put it that way. The Kathleen, big old happy. All right, guys. Holy moly! Look, we got some new names in here. We might have to do that from now on. Kind of reboot, and we'll cop in some new people.
So,
Hey, let's check this out, man.
we got 500 new people. Did you reboot the page 500 times? Yeah, no, 670, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, guy. I look at Kathleen. I typed poo poo and it didn't work. I did that time. Some people's are still not working. Mine didn't for a bit. And Jim, yeah, it's a YouTube thing. If it doesn't pop in, type it again, cut and paste it, and save it or something. I don't know. It's kind of funny.
Drop it into a Word document and email it to us.
It's almost like somebody's out there trying to interfere with our lives, because we had our issues Friday night. We had a few issues on Saturday. Now today, it's like somebody's sitting there reading the chest, going, "I'm going to take that one out. I'm going to take that one out. I'm going to take that one out." It's just like, give me a freaking break. Anyway, these narratives conflict not only with each other, but also with the claim that Smith was first alerted by telephone. Depending on which story you accept, either Billy Smith was already present during the emergency response, or he wasn't. Look at all the freaking thumbs up. I'm sitting there looking at the screen from YouTube, and it's just like all these thumbs up everywhere. Good, you guys are great, man. I love these guys. I love you.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome.
But again, what relevance is he?
Yeah.
Maybe I just missed the boat here, but again, what relevance does this have to the whole?
Yeah, I think the name of this book should have been Elvis Decoded. What does it matter?
It's like, really, are we purely at the perspective of him trying to prove or disprove certain things? Question.
Okay,
Or
what
is
difference does it make when Billy ran into whoever it was? Ricky, Billy, Danny? I don't know. It wasn't Danny. You know what I'm saying. What does it matter if he ran into him here or at the drive? It doesn't change the whole perspective of the situation that really involved Elvis. That was the focal point. It wasn't,
Yes, as far as I understand, we're trying to establish a timeline of some perspective.
Yeah, exactly. I just, it's like, in one aspect, I just want to shut some people up, but I can't do it because what does it matter? Oh, I meant to turn this off. Hold on. I'm going down the elevator here. I'm trying to adjust my chair again. I don't know why I'm getting leg cramps today. Maybe I need some Deloitte. I don't know. That's kind of a stupid remark. The only prescriptions I take is what the doctor prescribes me. Well, so did he. Okay, so now we got the Grove Thompson arrival problem. Okay, so man, look at so Paul. We got a Paul in here now. All right, guys, tell me where y'all from, and please tell me you're not a troll. Oh, Alabama, very good. You're right. You're the next state over. I'm in Georgia.
I think Paul might be Banjo Paul, if I remember correctly, because he does have two accounts, I think he said the one time. One is on his phone and one is on his computer.
Yeah.
If it's the same person.
The Grove Thompson arrival problem. A particular strange claim appears in a magazine account attributed to David Stanley. Stanley said that on the way out of the Grayson Gates and after Elvis had been taken to the ambulance, he and Billy Smith saw Dick Grove and Sam Thompson arriving. Clever Camarillo. Okay, I don't know.
It's Banjo Paul. He's on his second account. That's why it's showing up as Paul and not Banjo Paul, because he's on a different device.
Kathleen, I keep switching accounts and it stops working. I'll have to check.
Okay, then Kathleen, can you please stop switching accounts?
This is notable because Grove's own account places him elsewhere at that time, saying he was at home and was alerted by phone after Elvis had already been taken to the hospital. So either Stanley's recollection is wrong and Grove's timeline is wrong, or someone is compressing or rearranging events after the fact.
Okay, but where would Sam be arriving from? Because unless Sam was coming on duty
Well, maybe
at that
let's see what it says next. It might be telling. It might say here. Maybe not. Let's go through this part. I keep switching deaf. Everybody's giving thumbs up now. Kathleen's laughing. All right, so here we go. Sam Thompson, 3 different arrival times. Yeah, see, hers are popping up now. I see him pop up on YouTube, and a couple seconds later, and I'm going to try one right now. Just see if I'm blocked. Am I blocked? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mine's not popping up. I'm blocked.
Still a delay because it's usually like 3 seconds.
Sally did hers after mine. Okay. Well, that's strange. Lori's fine. Elvis Chick's fine. She's popping up next. That's weird.
I didn't even know Lori was here. Lori, you've been here from the start? Because this is the second message I've seen from Lori.
Okay, check this out. See the blank there?
Mm-hmm.
That's new.
Yeah.
But I didn't put in what I typed.
That's weird.
Only thing I guess calls for is this is freaking weird, guys. This is really weird. All right, I don't get it.
We'll probably find the solution will come late. The explanation will come later. It's gonna be like fucking Friday night show.
Well, here's the oh yeah. All right, guys, let's just keep going.
We're gonna be sitting here bashing heads, trying to find solutions, only to find that it's not a solution for us to find.
Yeah, then we'll already be 4 hours in the show and only accomplished 1 chapter.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's keep going here. Hopefully, we'll get it resolved, and if it doesn't pop up, try it again, or I don't know. We'll just listen. I appreciate everybody's patience with this. I think it's kind of brings a little humor to it. I think in my aspect, it's ridiculous.
Never a dull
Right.
moment when we do
They
things.
can't even get that right. Um, Sam Thompson's reported arrival is especially inconsistent across sources. He is described as arriving while resuscitation efforts were still underway in the bathroom. This would have to be before the ambulance left. Encountering Stanley and Smith as they were leaving for the hospital. This would likely be around the ambulance departure or just after. A third story is he was arriving at or around 3. I can't read these anymore because you guys, Kathleen's like she's on a roll. Arriving at around 3 p.m. and seeing David Stanley driving down the driveway. But at 3 p.m., the ambulance had already left and Stanley and Smith were presumably already gone. And arriving when the ambulance was in the driveway after returning with Dr. Nick. This would be much later at 3:45 to 4 after Elvis was declared dead. This cannot all be true. Even if we allow for approximate timing, the gaps are too large to explain as simple memory errors. Thompson's accounts place him at Graceland before 2:47, around 3, at and around 3:45. Those are three very distinct moments with different circumstances. The back end remark and the Deloitte question. One of the most revealing and troubling phrases appears in an edited account where Thompson says he arrived just as Dr. Nick walked back in and leaned over to whisper something to Vernon. That phrasing raises an obvious question. Back in from where? If Nick returned to Graceland in the ambulance with the paramedics to inform Vernon, then his first priority would logically be to deliver the news immediately. Yet the back end language implies Nick had already been present in the house or in that room, then left, then returned before speaking to Vernon. If that implication is accurate, it creates a narrow and important possibility. Nick may have moved elsewhere first, potentially upstairs, before he spoke to Vernon. They're all going with all the emojis on this. They're testing. And that matters because Nick later claimed he accounted for the Deloitte tablets and suggested Elvis did not take them because the pills were still in the bathroom. But multiple accounts also claim the upstairs bedroom and bathroom were quickly cleaned of drugs and evidence. That Nancy Brooks described Aunt Delta, urging her to go upstairs to remove items before investigators arrived, and that they worked to empty and clean drawers, counters, and cabinets. Paramedics later reported the area had been cleaned when they returned upstairs after coming back with Dr. Nick. So the key contradiction is this. Wow. Okay. You guys are a trip, man. If the bathroom was cleaned shortly after Elvis was removed, how could diluted tablets still be sitting there for Dr. Nick to find? The only possible window. Given the sequence most sources agree on, the ambulance leaves Graceland. Elvis is declared dead at the hospital. Nicopolis returns to Graceland with the paramedics to inform Vernon. The paramedics soon go upstairs and observe that the area has been cleaned. If Nicopolis truly saw Deloitte tablets in the bathroom after Elvis died, then there's only one realistic window in which he could have done so. Upon returning to Graceland before speaking with Vernon and paramedics, he went upstairs. That would mean Nicopolis' first act upon arriving was not to tell Vernon, but to go upstairs and check the bathroom. And I almost believe that.
Okay, but I've lost again. What relevancy does this have? I mean,
Yeah.
he's spent a whole chapter almost trying to prove or dispel, whichever way you look at it, whether Dr. Nick had seen the loaded tablets on the bathroom countertop or not. And again, For what? To what purpose?
Hence my suggestion for a new title. What does it matter?
Yeah, it's like it's in fact been jumping around so much that I've had difficulty trying to follow it because uh, there's no consistency in what he's talking about here.
Yeah.
Because one minute he's talking about the loaded poles, the next minute he's talking about Sam and David arriving at the same time, and then he's talking about when Billy and David left for the hospital. So that's three separate three separate topics, but all brought into one chapter.
Mm.
Unless I'm just a little bit slow, but that's how I perceive it.
If that is not what happened, then the claim that he found the tablets in the bathroom becomes extremely difficult to reconcile with the cleanup accounts and with the paramedics. And yeah, just like you said, Cam,
Hmm.
what difference does it frickin' make? Observations. Oh, well, with the paramedics observations, I should have formatted this better. So the conclusion from Mr. Lacey. This timeline does not merely show inconsistent memories, it exposes structural contradictions that cannot be reconciled without discarding major portions of someone's testimony. What emerges is a serious and unavoidable question. Did Dr. Nick make a quiet trip upstairs after returning to Graceland before speaking with Vernon, either to verify the presence of pills or to remove evidence? The accounts as written create a narrow gap of time where such an act could have been possible. If the Deloitte tablets were later accounted for, that gap becomes central to understanding how, when those pills were found, inventoried, or removed.
Again, to what point?
Yeah, exactly. Let me let's see. What time is it? It's 4. So we've been going almost 2 hours right now. Let's pause there and let's jump over to King is Dead because this is a new chapter. So I need to do something here. I want to highlight that so I can mark it and then forget it later. All right, so I'm going to close that one out, and then we're going to.
Check, everybody's throwing us with emojis now.
I know it's like what you guys are a trip, man. Unbelievable, you guys. All right, so let me put that back up, and we're going to get to the book. So we're going to do that, baby. Now, open it up, window. The king is dead. Okay, chapter 3. This is chapter 3 of The King is Dead by Robert Holton. So when it says rewritten here, that means I had it rewritten into non-copyright violation, and it's all paraphrase. It's not paraphrasing, but it's just giving the story in a different terminology.
Yeah, everything seems to be stable now. I see the chats popping up as
Yeah.
they come through.
See, that's the problem. You guys aren't doing the right thing. You should be just sending emojis. Put little words in between. Send an emoji. It pops right through. You know what? Let me see what happens if I send an emoji. If I put an emoji in there, will it come through? It's kind of interesting now because I keep typing stuff in here and it doesn't. Okay, let's do this. Of all things, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do that, and I'm going to hit send. If my emojis come through, it's not coming. It comes through on the YouTube channel.
On
It's
YouTube,
not
yeah.
there. It
Okay,
is.
that comes through now. Yeah,
Okay, so I'm coming
there
through.
there was an internal issue.
Well, I'm going to see if it'll take. Remember a little bit earlier, it was empty. So I'm going to do this. I'm typing hello. I know we keep side liking, but you guys. Okay, that says hello. I did hello, and that should come right after Kathleen's message there. Well, we'll see. Anyways, the king is dead. The king is indeed dead. Rewritten. So now we're in the in the building where Elvis's body is, and they haven't uncovered. They're all saying that only emojis are going through now. That's the only thing that's coming through.
Yeah, then there's issues, internal issues then.
Well, you know what? I don't think there's any point in going any further. We can't have a discussion with them.
Mm-mm.
What do you guys think? We need to figure out what's going on here because it's showing up. Wait a minute. Okay. Yeah, it's showing up on YouTube's live chat. It has nothing to do with our live chat because it
No.
goes to YouTube's and it's transmitted to us. It's not
Yeah.
the only thing that's transferred to YouTube is our video. All right, guys, we're going to end it. I hate to do this, but at least we got through what we wanted to in Decoded. We spent a couple hours, well, an hour and a half of that, and then the other half an hour seeing how many people can fit an emoji into one comment. All right, challenge here. So before we say goodbye, let me close this out. All right, real quick. Let's see who can put the most emojis in the comment, and then we're gonna leave. Kathleen, how many? All right, so I'm gonna do that. That's funny. Okay, all right, here we go. I can actually. Oh, I got too many. I can't even put them all in there. Oh, you can only do like 30. Okay, there we go. Look at them all.
Jeez.
All right, I'm going to take. I'm going to take this and edit it to with the other one, so we can have one full video. And I'm going to reload it. It'll be in the video section. So I'll do that tonight. I'm going to download them and get them to where it's one video, and hope to hell they get this fixed, because it's not going to interfere with Cam and I. We're recording inside the studio, but it's going to interfere with our premiere and with the watch party on Saturday. Anyway, hey everybody, thanks for joining us. The new people that popped in, come back when YouTube gets their shit together. Look at that. We got the most colorful chat. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at the chat over here on the right. They're having fun now.
Yeah.
We're like at a lesson of Picasso. That's hilarious. All right, guys, y'all have. Yeah, I got a song to take us out with, so it'll be. Let me get to the chat here. I got a good one, and this is actually a good song that correlates with what we're doing here. So, y'all, thank you very much. It's not one thing or another. All right, guys, here we go. We're gonna take it out with a little I Gotta Know.
Thanks, guys.